Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Guys, I'm a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. And if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Tonight, we're going to be talking with two very special guests. You know them very well. They're from EquuSearch Midwest. Dave Rader, the director, and Twila, the search coordinator. And we're going to have a powwow. We're going to talk a little bit about Summer Wells and the searches that they have done for Summer Wells. We're going to talk about the activity that we've seen since December 1st. For those of you who are not following this closely, the TBI and Hawkins County did some searches on December 1st of 2021. And it was the first time they did searches in quite some time. Before we get into that, I want to just say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members, and everybody who positively engages in all of our live streams. You guys are an intricate part of making this such a great place where we bring valid information without rumors and drama. This is a great place because of you, the viewers. I appreciate yous, I respect yous, and I give thanks and praise. And I tip my cap, the EquuSearch, Texas EquuSearch hat. I tip my cap to you, the viewers, and I thank you so much. The moderators, the replay viewers, you guys are all just fantastic. Before we get into it, guys, I want to show you a little bit of media from December 1st, 2021, when the TBI and the Hawkins County Sheriffs, and I believe the FBI were boots on the ground there. They did what they described as a massive search, like some major searching. So let me play that piece for you guys so it sets up for today what went on. And they talked about a scaled down search today, which I think entailed around 35 officers. So let me just share the screen with you guys real quick. Let's get the show on the road. This is from December 1st of 2021.
Hoping for good news, but it's unclear this morning. So many are hoping for good news, but it's unclear this morning what, if anything, crews found during a renewed search effort for Summer Wells. News Channel 5's Nick Barris is in the 5 Alert Center. And Nick, you followed this story so closely, and authorities have been really tight-lipped about what was happening yesterday.
They have, of course, taking this very seriously, working very hard at it, but no word this morning on whether or not anything of substance was found during yesterday's search effort. But what we do know is that search will continue, probably getting underway just as we're speaking right now over there in East Tennessee this morning. Crews were out yesterday for the first time in months searching the heavily wooded area around Summer's home in the Beech Creek area. Now, you'll remember initially police considered the possibility Summer had just wandered away from her home this past June and perhaps something had happened to her in the woods. Since then, again, they've considered the possibility that she was abducted as well or met with foul play. But dozens of officers on foot do plan to be back out there today to continue with what is essentially a grid search, hoping to find any trace of the child. But again, Amy, at this point, no indication from authorities whether or not anything was found.
But what sparked crews to start searching again? Did they get some new information?
No, the way we understand it, there were no new leads, but you'll have to recall that when she did disappear this past summer, that was the search effort in June and July when there was some heavy overgrowth in the wooded area where the home is. But now with the change of season, it's all died down. The landscape and terrain more clear, visible. They're going back in there to see if anything was missed or if anything maybe now is revealed as much of that vegetation has gone away. Keep in mind, authorities continue to take tips. You can call the TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND. The reward in the case for information leading to Summer Wells now is nearly $60,000.
And this, again, is from December 1st of 2021. I played that clip for you because it is pretty much the same, but a little bit of difference of what took place today. That is probably more media coverage than what today's search got on the various social media outlets. Again, there were small clips, which I will show you during the course of this, but it is important that we understand that law enforcement will get tips. They will re-interview and interview the same potential suspects or witnesses. They will do new interrogations of people who were put in custody. Example, Don Wells. We don't know exactly if they interviewed and interrogated him. I know if I was on the case or if I had a hand in it, I would put him in the box and do a heavy, full interrogation. But again, if he lawyers up or pleads the fifth, you can't touch him. So again, there's so many variables. But before we get into that, I have two special guests who I am just honored to have them and call them friends and have them here on Crime Time with DutyRon. First, we have Dave Rader, the Operations Director of EquuSearch Midwest. Dave, good evening. Thank you for joining, as always, brother.
Absolutely. Always good to see you, Ron, and always good to talk.
Yes, likewise. And we have standing by at an undisclosed location. I'm not really sure where she is because she's a little foggy out there. Twila Cisco, that's the Search Coordinator and the Operations Director of Midwest EquuSearch. Twila, good evening.
Hey.
How you doing? What are you eating?
Peppermints.
Okay.
The real soft kind. They're
Excellent.
so good.
Excellent. Dave, I want to go to you quick. Twila, you just eat away. Have a good time. I mean, listen, you can't do anything wrong in my world, Twila, because you're an angel. What you do for EquuSearch and what you do for the missing is nothing short of just miraculous. So
Thank you.
God bless you, Twila.
Dave's up there shaking his head. I need to go up there and pull them locks off the side of his ears, I guess.
It was that whole angel thing.
Yeah, there you go. Dave, I want to just turn to you. We have a lot of people here, probably close to the audience is building. I know that you've been following closely because you and I communicate on a regular basis. Today, we had a couple of conversations in the midst of my search, my scans up in Manhattan in the hospital, and then during the course of the day. What was your takeaway on the search and research for Summer Wells today?
Again, that only proves that law enforcement is still working this case vigorously, even though that it's not, you don't see it. It's not always in your face. So behind the scenes, they're still doing their thing. They're investigating. They're following up on tips and leads, and then they again put together a game plan as far as on what makes the most sense, and then they execute it by going out and performing the searches.
Yeah, and that's another point that I wanted to bring up, Dave, is in the operation with EquuSearch Midwest, and you guys do great work, and God bless and kudos to everybody who has donated to the fundraiser, which is still active for Midwest EquuSearch. We've raised over $17,000 as of today, and you could still go over and donate to them straight to EquuSearch Midwest. That fundraiser is still active. But Dave, in your experience, and Twila as well, but I'd like you to chime in first, Dave. In your experience, when law enforcement, and I know people make fun of me when I say law enforcement because it's coming from that New York accent. So when law enforcement do the researches or they get an area where they're going to want to try to concentrate, either backpedal and do a recheck of that area, or the new areas, is that an uncommon thing, or is that a common thing in these type of cases?
No, it depends on, and again, it's all in where the investigation is going. So, I mean, you could have an area that was checked, but if the weather didn't permit it to cover that area enough, then they'll go back and revisit it. The same way as if it's heavily with the thickets and the briars and things are now, as we know, they're not in bloom yet. So this would be the perfect time to go back to those areas and walk through it, because it's easy to miss when the vegetation and the growth is there. So you now have an opportunity to where it's not so thick, and you can concentrate with what's in front of you a lot easier.
Right. And, that's the thing, too, is each time I speak to you guys, whether it's, this case or all the cases that we currently are working and that have worked in the past, there's sometimes when I get on the phone with Dave or Twila and they're like, we have a search in the mud, in the mud and in the middle of East Tennessee, or we're in Ohio somewhere searching for, researching and doing digging and doing things of that nature. It's not uncommon that law enforcement in different various levels of it, state, local, federal, you guys have worked with the feds, you've worked with the state. These as you say, Dave, these investigations are active, and they could have information. Like they said, this was a planned search. Well, it could have been planned yesterday. It could have been planned overnight, last night, or it could have been planned 5 days in the past. We don't know, and we don't have access to those case files, and they don't share that information with you guys. Twila, you deal with a lot of locals, and you deal with a lot of different various, agencies. They're not sharing. They're not opening up their case file and saying, "Hey, Twila, take a look at this." They're saying, "No, we need you to go search." Do you want to talk just a little bit about that, Twila?
You're absolutely correct with that. They only give us the information that they want us to have that would be helpful when we are out there conducting a search. From what I understand, I don't think anybody knew about this search except for law enforcement when they went out there today.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Whether it's a new area or if it's a research of old area, this is all the things that it takes to. And Dave, you say it so well all the time. And I heard Tim Miller, the founder of Texas EquuSearch, we know where she's not, right? But there's
Correct.
also the fact of when you expose your search area. Remember the second time or third, I think it was the second time you guys went, you specifically said, we don't want anybody talking about where we are or broadcasting where we are, the exact location. And you did it for a reason. And that reason is well known. Do you want to just let everybody know the importance of keeping it close to the vest?
Again, we don't know who all the players of the game are. So when you don't have that kind of information and you go putting out what you've covered in the thorough searches and you mark it off the list, the last thing that you want to do is broadcast that either through the news, the media, or through the social media end of this, because if somebody is still walking amongst us who committed that crime, then at that point in time, if they know exactly where you've been, they can go back and take that piece of either evidence or the body and actually move that to the location where you just said that you've cleared. So, and then you mark it off the list, and you're not going to go back to there. So you haven't accomplished anything. You've actually helped them out, and that's not what we're all about. So.
Exactly. And, again, we're supplement, and Twila, you know this too. I mean, we're all on the same page. We supplement what they're doing investigation wise, and we're lending a hand. And we spoke several times in regards to Summer Wells, David, Twila, and I, publicly on live streams and also privately. There's no bill handed out by EquuSearch to the Hawkins County Sheriff. So that's the great part about groups like this, is they go out, they use their resources, they get their people to go out there and search, and then there's no bill for it. An adjoining county is not billing the current county for overtime, for all the incidentals and all the things that costs to do these searches. And that's the great part about EquuSearch, and that's why I'm so passionate about what you do, Dave and Twila, and I'm so invested in it, because I know that there's not many. There are some out there, but there's not many that do this day in and day out. And that's why I'm so proud of what you guys do. And I'm also honored to take time out to fundraise. And I'm not, in any way, shape, or form saying that there's no other good organizations out there, because there are some, but you guys really go above and beyond. And I love the passion that you guys put into these things. People are just so curious, Dave and Twila. When you guys did search, again, we don't want to get into the specifics, but we talked about how extensive and how much coverage and how much land there is there. It's just overwhelming, the amount of spaces and possibilities of where a small little, we saw the TBI and the sheriff and also the Tim Coop say that, her body is the size of a couple of manila envelopes, so how difficult is that, Twila, to find this sort of needle in the haystack?
I look at my youngest child that's 8 years old, and I look at her and I think to myself, where could somebody her size actually fit, and some are smaller than my daughter. And I know my daughter she can get in a clothes basket, she can get in a tote. The kids can get into any, you wouldn't believe some of the places that these kids can get into. And I'm telling you, out of all the searches that I've ever been on from here, Alabama, Indiana, Ohio, I've never seen the terrain and vegetation so thick the way it is out there. And it's just sad. It's sad, it's emotional, and it's hard. It is so hard because she could possibly be anywhere, any small little hole. You know, it's just sad. I don't know how else to explain it except for she's so little and there's so many different places out there. I don't even like thinking about it, but it's just sad. She could be anywhere.
Yeah, no, I agree, Twila. It is sad. You know, we saw the case, Dave, of the little girl that was stuffed under a staircase upstate New York. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. She was missing for quite some time, and it was a custodial thing. And the police up in Saugerties, New York, was able to get a search warrant to go into the home. It took them over an hour and a half to find her underneath the staircase leading upstairs to a second floor. They had a special bunker where they secreted this, I think, 7-year-old girl in underneath the stairs, and she was unharmed, but she was unaccounted for many years. And they found her. These stories of finding these missing it's just so rare that happens. We celebrate them and we're happy about them, and nobody wants to see Summer Wells alive more than the two people that are on this panel right here, and all of the rest of us, you know. But we have to be real about it, and the fact of the matter is the odds and the numbers, they don't lie. So when you have this much time that has gone by, it's a recovery operation where we want to find where Summer Wells is. It's the law enforcement's job to interview, interrogate, and re-interview and interrogate suspects, witnesses, any type of leads. It's not our jobs. I mean, Dave will tell you, you know, I asked him several times, and Dave, I want you to talk about this. You know, you guys try to get close, and I don't want to give up our trade secrets, but it is important that you get close to the families to get information of how does this child act? What does this child do? What kind of personality does the child have, or the missing? You want to talk a little bit about the importance of why you guys try to communicate with the family and get with them?
You know, as law enforcement is actually working the case itself, when we do get to actually sit down with the family, you want to hear what their story is. What was that loved one like, and what did they like to do, and from the stories that they tell, then you can kind of piece together, like, would they go into the woods? Would they go deeper into the woods? Are they used to walking in the woods? You get a little bit of information more about that individual through the family members, and then you can go back to law enforcement and say, okay, this is what mom or dad said, or the sister said. Does that play any role in the investigation at all? And you know, and that helps us kind of also think from a strategy as far as we need to put into the equation when we're looking at an area. It's like, okay, do we, you know, and again, is it foul play? Is it somebody that just walked off? So there's so many variables that it could be a part of. So every case is not cookie cutter. It literally, you have to take it a case by case, but that does fit into, you know, talking to family members. That kind of helps you kind of make the determination of how determined would this person, if it is if it's not a homicide, or if it's somebody that just walked away, that kind of gives you an indication of how deep do you really need to go instead of the standard.
Right.
And you know what? I hate to interrupt you, but I want to say this.
Never.
I'll tell you, Summer never leaves our mind, because me and Dave were on another case in another area. We wasn't even near Hawkins County. We were working a completely different case, and we were sitting there. I don't even think we had a search that day, but we were sitting there eating breakfast, and both of us at the same time, this lady came in with the child, and I guess Summer stays on our mind so much. We both looked at this lady and this child, and we both almost pretty much said it at the same time. She favors summer. So she's constantly always on our mind. She never leaves our mind. And you know yourself, because I've called you, you talk to Dave, you talk to us all the time, and it could be any random time that you call us, and we always have the conversation about summer. We have met with her parents. We've been to her house, and what we know is Summer was a precious child that we want to find. And that's what I pretty much better leave it at, because yeah.
Well, you just took the next. I have my notes here. I have my cheat sheet. My next question to you and Dave is: did you get to meet the Wells family? Did you get to meet both Summer's mom and dad? And if so, what can you say about it? Dave, I'll let you go first, and then Twila, because I know you got a lot to say, Twila.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to meet both Candus and Don. As everybody knows, it's not a big secret. Don was not a big fan of mine. He, said some pretty harsh things for not knowing me. But when we sat down and I did meet him face to face, we had a man-to-man talk, and we were under the understanding after that. And it's no big secret. I'll sit there and tell you, is the conversation that when I left it is that, it's not about Don, it's not about Candus, it's about Summer, and it's about finding that little girl. Whether they want to help or whether they don't want to help, that's not going to sit there and change my mind or the direction of this organization to help law enforcement to find that little girl. So, I'll keep my thoughts to myself as far as that goes, as far as personally, but from a standpoint of the director for this organization for the EquuSearch Midwest, that doesn't have any bearing as far as on us going and looking for this little girl.
Yeah, and that's the great part, is that this is nothing personal. This is you going out and doing the job that you do, and the way you do it, is the best way. You know exactly what you have to do. Twila, again, you were there. You have a way of communicating nicely with everybody, and that's the great part about what you do. It's an important and it's an intricate part of this whole thing. Well, you need to be able to get people to be comfortable with you, and at the same time gather information that will help you, not arrest, not bring people to justice, but bring the missing home, the lost home. Twila, any takeaways from your interaction with Candus and Don?
I have interacted with them. I've interacted with Candus more. I don't form an opinion. I'm not going to form an opinion, because my goal is to find Summer, and I don't have a problem with Don. I don't have a problem with Candus, because at the end of the day, what we're there for is to find Summer. I do still every so often talk to Candus, and it's just normal talk. I don't ask her questions. I'm not going to ask her questions. At this point, it's not my business of what happened to Summer. What my business is where is Summer.
Yeah, you say it well. Kudos to both of you guys. And I remember, when you guys had that meeting with the family, I actually said to you, Dave, I've been around a lot of different situations as a detective in the New York City Police Department. It's hard to separate the job of what you have to do from feelings. But as a professional, we do that all the time, and I know you guys as well. So it was impressive to me that you were able to sit down and break bread with these folks. I personally wouldn't have been able to do that because my mindset is a little different. I'm thinking more along the lines of finding out who did this to her. But again, in my retired life, I know that I separate that and I reel it in, and I say, wait a minute, when I just handed my shield and my badge in and my ID, and now I have to become a civilian and help educate people on how the process goes.
Right.
Let me just say thank you to Grace Green for the $20 super chat. She says, did you know if Jody Sue allowed searches on the property she was living on? Now, listen, I'm going to just say this. Thank you for that super chat. Even if we did have that information, it would not be something that I would say, yeah, they searched it and it's clear. Again, we circle back to what Dave just said earlier, maybe 5 minutes ago. It's not in the best interest of Summer Wells to say, yeah, people were all over Jody Sue's property. They searched the shit out of it. And it's clear. We don't want to get into that. And that won't happen here. We're not going to do that. But thank you so much for that super chat. And I want to say also thank you to the new channel members. I think Ron Daniels sent in a super chat or a super sticker. You guys were talking, so I don't like to stop you guys. Tennessee Girl is a local from Rogersville, and she says, thank you for your love for Summer and all the missing. This is a local resident saying thank you to both of you guys.
I'd also like to let people know, we have pictures on our Facebook page. We have pictures on our web page. And I just want to let you know, those pictures that you see, we don't mind that you share them, but don't ever get the thought in your mind that those are areas that we've searched for an individual person, because those pictures are up there of our trainings and stuff like that. We would never, ever jeopardize a case of a missing person by putting pictures of, you could see us up on some of the pictures laying on the ground digging. That is not somebody we're looking for. That is training that we are doing within our team, and we would never put something out there that would pertain to a missing person case, because I've seen some of our pictures floating around and they were assuming that it was in Hawkins County and this, that, and the other, and that is not the case. And I just want to make that very clear that we would never put pictures of our search areas out there on any kind of platform.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Twila. I'm just showing some of the photos, Dave, from the Facebook page, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
These are the posts. These are the posters that EquuSearch Midwest puts up for the missing, and you could just scroll through these. There's quite a bit of them up there, and there's quite a bit of goodness on EquuSearch Midwest's Facebook page. I suggest everybody go over to it, hit that liked button like I did, I believe. Yes. Oh, I unliked it. Now I'm back. So it's a great page. It's got a lot of information. I suggest everybody go over there and check it out. Denise, thank you so much for the $5 coming in from the UK. She says, keep what you're doing. Keep what you're doing, DutyRon, from the UK. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Again, this case is not by far not over. People talk about, oh, it's a cold case, it's starting to ramp down. You see, here we are. Dave and I had this live stream scheduled for tonight, irregardless of what happened today, right, Dave?
Absolutely.
We were trying to get together from, I think, Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. It was date night for me and Mrs. DutyRon. I had one too many. Saturday night, Dave was busy doing a search all day in Ohio, and we're going to get to that in a minute. So Dave was on business. We were waiting to get a hold of Twila because we know that she's always ready to come on and say hi to everybody. So, but it was a conflict between me and Dave, and then Sunday's the day for the boys. The Sunday we get to hang out for a little bit.
I had to get y'all straight. That's what finally got us here right now at this very moment. I had to get you two straight and say, let's go. That's right.
But we did have this plan for, as of yesterday, Dave, you and I had this plan, and there was no Summerwell search. So
no,
we were doing this live stream tonight, irregardless. So I want to just say quickly, we'll turn over quickly to the chat. Nothing but love is here. Denise Spalding, great to see you. She's saying hello to Trevor Lee. He's from Tennessee. We know him. He's a great, great kid. I can't even call him a kid. He's a young man. Deco Paint and Tea says, do you think she will be found? I pray that she will be found. I could say I don't know if she'll be found, but I do pray. And I know, Dave, you're on the same page as that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're always hoping to bring whoever it is home. to give the family, the closure. So I mean, you're always praying that that whatever you're looking for, the lost ones, that they're brought home safe. Or again, God forbid that she is deceased. We want to sit there and bring her home so the family can have a place to go to at least visit. Right now, they have no place to go. So we want to, when you go find somebody and you do have that find, then the family can lay them to rest and they can go and spend time with their loved ones.
Absolutely. Amen to that, brother. It's funny that people still don't really get it. You could talk to you blue in the face, and a lot of people, they want answers. They want the bad guy to get arrested, or bad girl, or bad guy and girl, whatever the case may be here in the Summer Wells case. They just want to bring somebody to justice, but we always sidestep. The real focus is finding Summer. Here on Crime Time with DutyRon and with Dave Rader and Twila Cisco, they search for the missing. And again, I can't overemphasize the importance, and I can't reiterate it enough. This live stream and any live stream that I do with Dave Rader and Twila Cisco will not be about solving a case. It won't be about arresting a perpetrator. So if that's, like what you're looking for from this live, this probably won't suit you well. But you're going to hear good, valid information about that case that you're so interested in bringing justice to, on how the person is brought home. And you start that process. When you have a body or a set of remains or a skeletal remains, any type of remains or a recovery, that starts the process of forensics to start working. And then that's when Ed Wallace and myself kick into high gear. But this piece of the puzzle is an intricate and important part. These two and their group and all the team of EquuSearch is what gets that wheels of justice going with that recovery. So I'm hoping everyone's understanding what I'm saying. I'm not trying to put people down. I'm not trying to bash anybody down. I'm just trying to say that this is not the channel tonight for that. On other nights, you can catch us when me and Ed are in full swing, and we're maybe talking about leads and information or things that might be starting to brew. So, I wanted you guys to know that that's what this is tonight. I'm not ignoring the comments about your suspects and all the people that you think are involved in it, but this is about the search. Dave, talk about a little bit, and we'll segue off of Summer Wells in a few. Talk about what the scope and operation of what EquuSearch Midwest did from day one to right to the last time we're up there. Like, what did you guys provide? Was it just searching on the ground? Was it searching with the dogs? I know we had the drones and stuff like that. Could you just talk a little bit about that, or do you want Twila to handle that?
I can take a little bit of it, and then Twila can sit there. And when I first hit the ground, we were in a supportive role. We were not the lead search team at all. So when we got the go ahead to come down, we were working arm in arm with 1,000 different people from multiple municipalities and search teams. So it was a conglomerate of everybody just trying to, again, at the time that we were on the ground, we were looking for a live girl, and timing was of the essence. And that was one of the things that we were trying to do, is put as much resources on the ground as we could possibly get in a short amount of time, to kind of lasso this in and to hone this so she couldn't get outside of that circle if she was indeed alive at that time. So that was our main goal. And again, we were in a supportive role. Then as things kind of transpired and things were, as time went on, and we were kind of taking a different approach instead of a rescue at that point in time, then it was all about the recovery of, okay, where could she possibly be? And then that's when we started to come in, and that's when we brought in our team. And then with to do some isolated and expand that circle, you might say, And then with that, we brought in the resources of Gene Robinson and the drones. And then and again, Twila can sit there and kind of go off of that with where we left off from that.
Right there with what Dave said, we've had multiple different people with us. Like he said, we were there in the beginning days, Dave was, and they had canines. We've used Gene, we've used Chris. We've done searches with one of the detectives that's on the case. He spent the whole day with us out there. We've been on searches with the PI that's working the case out there. I know that they've worked tirelessly and still continue to work it. Just because you don't see it published on the internet doesn't mean that it's not happening, because I know firsthand that they are working tirelessly on Summerwell's case. And, I sent a message out today to one of the detectives to let him know that we're here anytime that they need us, and free of charge. We want to just make their job easier to be able to bring home that missing person for closure for the family.
That's great.
Ron, if I could just say something real quick, as far as going back to what you had said, as far as our roles and things. What people have to understand, and your viewers out there, is that this is a machine that has a lot of moving parts and cogs to it. And what our role is that, the resources that law enforcement has, as we know, in today's age, they don't have the manpower. They don't have the budget to sit there and do both investigating and also putting boots on the ground. So basically, that's what we're doing. We're fulfilling that need at no charge to them or the family, while they're actually doing what they do best, and that's the investigation end of it. With that information, then that's when myself and all of our search coordinators and Twila comes in and saying, okay, this is the information that we have. Now we have to be their eyes and their ears out there and report back to them as we are eliminating spots.
Right.
So it's a process of elimination. So it goes hand in glove. In order for that engine to work, we've, on these moving parts, we all have to be on the same team and have the same goal, which we do. It's just a lot of people don't see this. If it's not on the news or if it's in their face, they don't understand the process that goes into this. And we're still working hand in hand with whatever municipality. So it's a hand in glove thing. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, that's important for folks to know that, because, a lot of people just come up with their own conclusions of what you guys do. And I think that is a great analogy and explanation of the behind the scenes work that you guys do. And, no two interactions, engagement with authorities are going to be the same. Some will ask you to do more, and some will ask you to just do less and hang back and be, as you said, support initially, like ready to go. So whatever the case is this is how you guys work. Whatever they ask you to do, you're there to do it. I'm just going to play another piece and give everybody a few minutes to. It's just a short little piece on the current news clip from Summerwell's from today. This is just going to describe in no uncertain terms what went on a little bit today. And it's going to show you some dogs and some searchers walking around, and some of the. It depicts a pretty good. Gives you a pretty good idea of how open and how much land there is to search, and kind of not the exact area they're searching, but it gives the audience a great idea of what we were looking at today. So this is from earlier this afternoon.
In Hawkins County, the TBI and authorities in that county are renewing their search efforts for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. You can see some of the images here of the search in Beach Creek, that area this morning. It is near her home, and investigators previously identified some points of interest where they are focused. Summer disappeared back in June of last year, and as of January of this year, the reward for any information leading to her is almost $74,000, that according to the Churchill Rescue Squad. The investigation, again, ongoing. TBI agents are asking anyone with a tip to call the number on your screen, 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Excellent. So that's what you have from today. I'm going to try to queue up one more little piece to give everybody just a little bit of a summation on what was going on. This is from the local what is that? WJHL. God, all these letters. This is from earlier today. I did play this piece earlier, but I want everybody to hear it. Here we go. Let's get it back.
News at 4. For the first time in weeks, the agents of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are combing through Hawkins County woods today during what they call a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. The TBI tweeted the agents. More breaking news at 4. For the first time in weeks, the agents of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation are combing through Hawkins County woods today during what they call a planned search for missing 6-year-old Summer Wells. The TBI tweeted the agency focused on what they call previously identified areas of interest. The small scale.
Now, I noticed, Dave and Twila, there was a body of water. I'm leaving this up on the screen just to the left of this arrow where the guy's walking. It's like a mucky green water here to the left. Again, these are always places of concern. But Dave, you and I always talk about if there was, again, if it was a body that was a fresh dump in that water, they float up to the top. And right now, a body of water is really, some people always say, well, why aren't they concentrating on bodies of water? Do you want to just talk a little bit? And this doesn't pertain to Summer Wells, but it just pertains to bodies when they're in the water and when they decomp and how that happens. Just, I know you talked about that with me early on when I first met you. So I'd like you to just expand on a body that's dumped in the water, whether it's tied down with rocks or whatnot.
What people don't understand is that usually when a body of water, you put a body in water, the process is that it's going to start to decomp, which it means bloats, and then as it bloats, the gases will bring you to the surface. Now, depending on the water temperature, and to weight somebody down, you would have to have a tremendous amount of weight to you. Now, as decomp, if it's tied, then as the decomp would take place, and I don't want to get too graphic, but I think that if people want to understand, you have to. This is life, so you that would come free, which would allow the body to bloat and come to the surface. But there's a lot of factors that go into this, so such as water temperature. Water temperature, the deeper, the colder, will preserve the body a little bit longer, and it will take a little bit more longer in the wintertime for that body to float. So instead of maybe a week to 10 days during the summer, then you are looking at probably 3 to 4 weeks, right, depending on how cold the water stays, for that body to float. Alcohol plays a huge factor. And if you're drinking beer, and let's say if you drowned in you'll surface quicker than if you're with whiskey. Whiskey will have a tendency to halt the decomp and the bloating, and will keep you down a little bit longer. So there's a lot of factors as far as on bodies of water. Right. So if she would have been put into a body of water that was in any depth, probably within 10 days, she would have been either spotted by ground searchers, or as much as that they were using drones and helicopters. I know that they were using TBI's helicopters, and I believe that they were even using planes. Yes. At that point in time, she would have been spotted from the air.
And not even spotted from the air, picked up, as we see Gene and Chris talk about. They take hundreds of images, thousands of images, and they review those images. So if they missed it real time, they would have those images to go back. And Twila, her eyes were burning several weeks ago looking at images of drone footage and pictures. She's shaking her head, yeah, yes. But I remember her telling me, DutyRon was up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning looking at pictures, and it resulted in some positive results in some of the searches that the recent search she was involved in. I'm just going to play the rest of this because I want the audience from outside the country to see this in case they don't have access. So let me just let the rest of this play. It's only a couple seconds, 23 seconds left.
Scale search was one of many efforts to try agency focused on what they call previously identified areas of interest. The small scale search was one of many efforts to try to bring summer home. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson revealed the search now involves 35 officers with the TBI and the sheriff's office. All this for Summer Wells. The Amber Alert still.
So there you have it. It's very limited press coverage. That's what I noticed about this, and it was to me not troubling, but it just made me, as an ex-law enforcement, it made me feel like, this wasn't like a grand scale search. This was something that they had to do part of their case investigation. Part of the investigation, they have to go and eliminate some areas or reevaluate some areas that they were already on. Again, people were going crazy today. There was, I got to review some of the live streams that were out there, and some of them were 3 and 4 hours long. Again, we won't get any word, and you guys can attest to this. If there was a recovery of Summer Wells, a bone, a skull, something that would indicate a little person was recovered, because the professionals know when you have a human skeletal remains of a grown adult, it's quite different than a small child, 5 years old. If they in fact did come across something, we would be seeing definitely press releases about it. They wouldn't say who it was, but they would say, we get it all the time. Skeletal remains were found in Knoxville. So we didn't see any of that. We didn't hear any of it. So it would lead me to think that there was nothing recovered here today, because if they did, they would put it out there. Twila?
Yes, I want to say something. I love this. I love the DutyRon family here, because this is the only channel that I have seen today that hasn't been out there putting all kinds of crazy nonsense. And I do want to make something very, very clear. I'm going to speak on Dave's behalf with this, and I know our team will back me up on this. Dave will never, ever go on any kind of platform ever and put out drop hints or anything to that nature. Dave is very professional. He knows what he's doing, and he's not going to come on social media of any platform and throw hints or drop hints or give clues, or we don't disclose information if something is found. That is not our job. That is not what we're about, and that's not what we do. But EquuSearch director Dave Rader, he doesn't come on here to drop hints and throw hints of this, that, and the other. He's too professional for that. He's better than that. And I just wanted to clear that up, because there's been so much stuff going on today. And it's not fair to Dave, because he's not on there. He don't see it. And I see it, and my team sees it. And, it kind of bothers us, because we love Dave. We care about Dave. We learn from Dave. And that's just something that we don't do, and Dave doesn't do. And I'm telling you right now, Dave would kick our behind if we was to go on there and do something like that. So I agree with you 1,000%. YouTube and Facebook and even TikTok has been crazy today with this little bit of news that's out there for summer. And this is probably why law enforcement isn't given too many details, because when they do, they get harassed. The search teams get harassed, and everybody out there that's wanting to help, that is helping, gets harassed. And it's just sad. It is very sad. But yeah, it's been crazy today, because I've had stuff in my inbox also, and it's just like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Twila. Dave, do you want to expand on that a little bit, or no?
No, I don't. Twila really does keep me in the loop as far as on things that are going around, as far as on the social media aspect, as she had said. And again, people take things out of context. By me sitting there saying, well, could she be moved? While they're sitting there reading into it, that I'm telling people, and subliminally somehow I'm sitting there saying she was moved. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just giving the cool side of the pillow. You have to look at it from one aspect and then also the other. So, but there's, you've got people that are out there that is going to sit there and they only hear what they want to hear. So I never come on. I never will come on, and I agree with Twila on this. I will never go. Number one, as I've told you before, Ron, and I'll say it here again publicly. There's only two programs that I've been on, and that's yours, and that's and that's also Bill Cannon's. I am going to be doing a podcast for a local guy here in Cincinnati that I've known for a number of years. He's ex-law enforcement, and he's got a very good cause, and I like Brian a lot. So other than that, it's you do a tremendous job of educating, and you weed out the drama. As we talked beforehand, as we came to live, we don't need drama in our lives, and there's not going to be any bullshit on this program. We're straight to the floor. We're straight to the point. We educate, and that's as far as it'll go.
And you better believe if there's any kind of update with anything whatsoever, and you want your facts 1,000% to know what's going on, this man right here, DutyRon's going to give you the facts, and he's going to tell you exactly how it is, point blank. So just put it out there. If you want accurate, correct information, breaking news, you should follow DutyRon, because that's where it's going to come from. There's no speculation. There's no lies. There's no guessing. There's no opinions. There's none of that.
And we are not paid sponsors, by the way.
Oh, no, we're not.
I was just going to say, how did this turn into a DutyRon fest? Again, the point is well taken. Again, we covered it. You guys are not here to solve cases. I'm not here to solve cases. My job for 20 some odd years was to go out and hunt evil, right? And bring people to justice. But when you hang up your shoes and you retire, that's what you do. You retire. You're not out there trying to stomp on people's active cases, active law enforcement. You don't want to interview principals and witnesses. That's their job. That's what they're getting paid for. If you want to talk about it, if you want to have a drama channel, have at it. That's just, again, Twila, the things that you mentioned, I don't entertain any of that stuff because it doesn't get to the root of what we're trying to do, and that's find the missing. Find Summer Wells, find Orrin and Orson West down in California in Bakersfield, find Harmony Montgomery. You don't get to find these people by causing a lot of extra loud white noise and pulling police off because you have, let's say, someone trespassing on properties, or you have someone saying that I have a vision and I saw that. They have to now act on that and go out on it. So that's the thing that I'm trying to reiterate to everybody is let's try to keep the professional part to the professionals who are actively investigating it. It's not our job to solve cases. It's our job to be good citizens, good human beings, talk with respect and dignity, no matter how up the case is, no matter how much of a shit show the parents are in this particular case with Summer Wells. There's no reason why any adult should be feeding into their jagaloonish behavior, right? No adult should be acting like a child, and that's what jagaloon means, right? So because you see someone acting like this doesn't mean that you jump on that bandwagon and you continue to act that way. And nothing gets accomplished, nothing gets done. Let's move forward into the current cases that you guys are working. Dave, you were talking about a search on Saturday. Do you want to get into just a little bit of what you guys are doing, what agency you're assisting, if you can? People want to know what's up with EquuSearch Midwest, because you guys go on so many different cases.
Phone's been ringing off the hook. It's been absolutely just nuts. So we were just on a search. We were contacted, I believe it was Wednesday of last week by Westchester, Ohio PD, and they had a gentleman that went missing 4 weeks ago yesterday, walked away from a bar and was never seen again. So there were some wooded areas that needed to be cleared, and we put together a search. I had 13 to 14 of us out there. as far away as
If you have any information
hold on,
that
Dave,
could
hold
help
on.
authorities find her.
That was me. Sorry. Go ahead.
oh,
Dave.
sorry. We had 13 to 14 individuals out there from as far away as Chicago. We had a Chicago firefighter that came down to help us and assist us. We had it as far away as Moorhead, Kentucky. They came up to assist. So, again, we were there. We cleared the areas. We know where he's not, and law enforcement appreciated that. And then as they continue to review tapes and cameras, we will then be assisting them if there's other future searches or other areas that needs to be done. The next one we have
is this the case that you were just talking about?
Yeah, Alex.
Hensley?
Yeah,
Hensley?
Alex.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know what, DutyRon, that we got this email, and it's a quick, fast email, but I'd like for everybody to hear it because this came from somebody that's seen the team out there searching for this gentleman. It came in this afternoon, and it says, "Thank you so much to all that were involved in the search for Alex on Saturday, February 26, 2022. Words are not enough to express my gratitude. Since Alex went missing 4 weeks ago, I have never felt so terrified, heartbroken, or helpless and alone. Then I saw all of you standing there Saturday, giving up a big part of your weekend to come out and walk in the cold looking for someone you didn't even know. Your help, prayers, kindness, and hugs were a great comfort to us. The thought of Alex out there somewhere in those woods, a ditch, or the water is heartbreaking to our family. You have given us hope that we might be able to find him and lay him to rest. Thank you so much for that. God bless." And that came out from somebody from that was out there and seen the team doing what they do best. Our members are the best.
Yeah. Second to none, that's for sure. And you know what? That's a testament to the job that you guys do. That came in from just a citizen from the surrounding area. I want to just put this flyer up. I'm going to go full screen with it, guys, if you don't mind. I'm going to read it. It just gives a brief synopsis, and it says Alex, and am I saying it right? Ensign?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex Ensign, age 31, was last seen January 31st, 2022, walking from a parking lot of the Old Village Tavern on Cincinnati Dayton Road in Westchester, Ohio, between the hours of 12 a.m. and 1 a.m., heading towards Tylersville Road. Alex was last seen wearing a brown leather jacket with possibly a hoodie underneath, light blue jeans, and brown boots. If you have seen Alex, know of his whereabouts, or have any information regarding his disappearance, please contact the Westchester Police at 513-777-2231 or EquuSearch Midwest at 513-503-3706. Again, I wanted to highlight some of the things that you guys did. We speak about this all the time, David, and we're getting close to the hour, so I want to wrap it up. I want to give thanks personally myself publicly to all the subscribers and all of the folks who donated to EquuSearch Midwest. The 3 hours that we were live, it was a total of 4, but the 3 concentrated hours of fundraising, we raised over $16,000. It's up over $17,000 right now. Dave and Twila, I know, are just so excited and ecstatic that in 3 hours we were able to raise that kind of money. And I didn't do it. We did it. All of us did it, including Dave, who sat there for the full 4 hours, and Twila. So I want to say publicly myself, and tip my cap to each and every one of you, even if you sent $1, even if you didn't send any money and you still support. I love and respect you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. For every victim out there, I thank you. For every family of victims, I thank you. Dave, anything from you?
Good Lord, I don't even know where to even begin. But again, on behalf of myself and this organization, I am speechless at the amount of support that and the followers that you have that support this cause. You have no idea where it takes us a long time to raise that kind of money and to do that in such a short amount of time, that will last us. I mean, we're very frugal with our money, but the thing is that we do a lot of traveling. Again, we have people coming in this next weekend for little Erica Baker from 23 years ago. We're going to be putting on a search for her. On the 19th of March, we're assisting Illinois State Police on a case in St. Louis. So these funds are going to help me get people into these areas to help to look for these loved ones. It does take a lot of money to do it, and without your generosity and without the generosity of everybody that spent the 3 to 4 hours with us on that Saturday, again, words can't even say. I can't even tell you, but thank you from the bottom of my heart and from every single person that's in that wears the EquuSearch shirt. They thank you, and it's just amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I was blown away by it. Twila, any words on the fundraiser? I know you spoke to me so much about it.
I've done a fundraiser out in Alabama before, and I didn't come anywhere near, nowhere close to what the DutyRon family has done for our organization. I don't know how we can thank you guys enough, and I don't even know how to put it in words. I actually went while y'all were on there, doing y'all's thing. I actually joined in with y'all. That's how exciting it was. And I was just blown away. And I was like, I want to help these people that care so much about us, that has not ever said not one negative thing about us, that supports what we do. I want to be with them to support our team. And we couldn't be more grateful for it. Like Dave says, we've got cases all over. I've got one in Arkansas that we've been working on for a while now, and it's going to be a big help. And I'm telling you, DutyRon, I've never met nobody that's like you, that has a platform like this, that doesn't try to get to us just to get some kind of information to put out there. You are a part of us now, and you're our family, and we don't know how to thank you enough. Our whole team is very grateful for what y'all have done for us. Very, very grateful. And y'all don't understand how much it is truly going to help us to be able to assist to bring these missing people home.
And that's the important part, is for everybody to understand, is that, there's so many things that you can do to help people, not directly. This is indirect help by channeling and funneling $1 or $5 or $100, and some people sent $1,000. And for those people who sent thousands of dollars, you guys are just unbelievable. But what I'm saying is that the impact that your random or anonymous dollar has done for EquuSearch enables them to now pass it along and pay it forward and bring a lost one or a loved one home to somebody else, or the potential. They can't find everybody, but they can also bring hope and strength to families that are just holding on to just anything. So that's the beautiful part about this. And I encourage each and every one of you to continue to donate. This fundraiser is still live and it's still active for another 24 hours. Jennifer, thank you so much for the generous super chat. She says, you don't need to thank the donors. We need to thank you for your service. And
y'all are helping us bring these missing people home by what y'all have done here. There's a lot of joy there for us and our team. And I guarantee you, if we had all of our team here together right now, they'd probably all be wanting to reach through the screen and hug every single one of y'all. We have some amazing people on our team. And let me tell you, we're like family. We have good days and we have bad days, but let me tell you, we're strong, we're tight, and we got each other's back. And you're a part of us now, as well as the rest of the family here.
Yes. And my love is deep for you guys. I'm not here just for the short haul. I'm here for the long haul. If anything, you guys might ask me to just leave you alone after a while.
No, that'll never happen.
Real with Robo sends in a $5 super chat, and she says, and I only recently found out that Real with Robo is a woman. She says, for all the parents, I'd like to donate this $5 to EquuSearch. Without you all, and I'll say it in Twila's way, without y'all, our kids would still be missing. I hope I never need your help. I love you. Thank you, Robo. Thank you, Real with Robo. That was very sweet. Yeah, very sweet. Guys and girls, listen, again, Summerwell's, the search was back on today. Take that as a positive. Try to focus your energy on supporting local law enforcement in your community, search and rescue squads. We heard Gabby Petito's father, Jim Schmidt, come on with Nicole on the fundraiser, and he talked about how important the Teton all volunteer search and rescue squad was in making him, as a father of a missing 22-year-old girl, feel comfortable. He got there and he said, I didn't know what to expect, but when I saw what was out there searching for my girl, I knew that they got it. They had this. So just the professionalism, the look, the men and women geared up, ready to go, is comforting to a family member that's panicked, that's in sheer terror that their loved one is missing and unaccounted for. That's what he said here on Crime Time with DutyRon. So Gabby Petito's own family came on and talked straight to Dave Rader about the importance of supporting the all-volunteer search and rescue groups. Moonlight View, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. She sends in a $10 super chat. Twila, is that your stockbroker calling you at this hour?
Yeah, that's what it is. And you know, DutyRon, I want to tell you, if we're ever able to set something up to be able to go somewhere to meet these people, we don't go in with handshakes. We go in with hugs, and we leave at the end of the day with hugs. That handshake thing, that's out to us. The hugs is what we go in with before and after searches. We don't care who you are. We don't care how dirty you are. We don't care, because we love everybody, and our whole team is like that. I've never met a group of people that is just so genuine and kind and have each other's back, especially the one down there at the bottom. Man, I'll tell you what, he breaks his back for us. Yeah. Don't get a big head, because it's already big enough down there. So just saying.
I personally can't wait to meet you guys, to give you, Twila, first and foremost, a huge bear hug. And then second, to get up on that step stool, to get up to Dave Rader and give him a big hug. Because
I bend over. I bend down.
Oh my goodness. That's what she said. Okay. Fuzzy Doxy, that's about as jokingly as I'll get here on a live stream. Fuzzy Doxy sends in a $10 super chat, and she says, thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your hard work. So I joined a search and rescue in Birmingham, I believe either Birmingham, Alabama, or Birmingham, the UK. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for that message, and thank you for the support. Somebody else sent in a $10 super chat, and I want to get to that. Denise Stagner says, that's for Twila and Dave. You guys are going to split it $5 each. You guys get it. $10.
Hey, DutyRon, you know what? I got to interrupt you here. I got to interrupt you. I see a comment over there about somebody saying that we found Summer with that drone and we're just slowly trying to announce it. That's not the case. We have not found Summer Wells, but I will tell you, we will not give up on Summer Wells. I just don't understand why they would bring that over here to your channel, because that's not what we're here for. We're not here to make an announcement of finding Summer Wells, because we have not found Summer Wells, and that's not our job. That's law enforcement's job. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I seen it, and I know, with this family here, how tight they are, and it's just crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. I didn't see it because I'm not looking at the chat that closely, but I am going to have one of the moderators go in and take that out and actually block that comment, because that is the furthest thing from the truth. And that's exactly what we were talking about in the middle part of the show, is false information like that is what starts a firestorm of nonsense. So that's completely untrue. So Dawn Marie, if you could go back and look at that comment, go and delete it. But before you delete it, block that person so they can't communicate on Crime Time with DutyRon anymore. And that's, if you can't get it, I'll get it later. Lee Perry, thank you for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Trucker Girl, I like how that's spelled. Super sticker, $10. Thank you, Trucker Girl. Trucker Girl. Guys, a lot of love and respect from my house to yours. I think I've held these guys way too long. It's an hour and 10 minutes. I promised under an hour. Trevor Lee is also still here in the chat, and he says, I can't wait to meet the three of you. So much love for you guys, and of course for Summer Wells, on my heart daily. Oh, amen to that, brother. We can't wait to meet you, Trev, because you are super, super awesome. I definitely want to give you a handshake and a big hug. You're an awesome young man, and your parents should be very proud of you. Mama She, $49. We'll call it 50. Love to you all, mostly Hottie Dave. I knew that was coming, but I have to live. I have to live for you all. I think she means I have love for you all. So Hottie Dave gets a $50 super chat from Mama She. She is a big fan of yours. Dave, if she lived local, you would probably have to get double locks on your door. I'm just saying. Combat Vet sends in a $10 super chat and says, thank you so much for all you do. God bless each of you. Much respect and love from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Combat Vet. Southern Crimes talking about Twila. I'll join y'all's team in Alabama. I would love to join, and I'll help y'all and the families of the missing. And I'm saying this in a loving way, so I know I'll get shit for that.
They can go onto our website, and there should be a membership application, or they can message me on Messenger, and I'd be glad. We don't have a team in Alabama. We are all under Mr. Dave Rader here, but I'm the search coordinator in Alabama, and I'll be glad to help anybody, as well as some of our other people that's on our team. They'll be glad to help anybody with trying to get you started on how to join our team. Just reach out to us. Reach out to us on our website, or email us, or reach out to me on Messenger on Facebook, or DutyRon. He could help too.
Either or. There's another one of Dave Rader's fans chiming in. Yes, everybody definitely reach out to the Facebook group, the EquuSearch Midwest. And if you want to help and you want to volunteer, the more the merrier. We need you now more than ever. Brenda Chick says, hello, handsome, at David Rader. God bless.
Hi.
There it is.
There it is. Real with Robo sends in a message, and it says, fact, EquuSearch searches for a lot of people, and they are very special people. Sick how folks would smear or try to smear their reputation like that. Nobody's going to smear. No one's going to smear their reputation. I'll tell you why. Because their reputation is stellar. So everybody can talk all they want. I will just say this.
Oh, hell no.
You are not going to smear Dave Rader's reputation or Twila. That is a big...
Oh, hell no.
All right, I'm done playing now. Let me just look at more of the chat, because I like to try to get to people in the chat. Anybody have any questions for Dave Rader in regards to the operation, or Twila in regards to the operation or search? I'm going to open that up for 3 to 5 minutes. Infamous Truth Teller, $10 super chat. Just wanted to say thank you a million times over to Dave Rader and the whole crew for everything that you do, for every case you're on. Much respect and a lot of love and prayers. Thank you, Infamous Truth Teller. Thank you. Wonderful group, says Jane Burdick. I Love Labs is laughing her ass off because of all the silliness that I'm doing here. Dave, how do you get your curls to look so soft?
A lot of product.
All right. Awesome. Brenda Chick says she is in Toledo, Ohio, Dave Rader. Just saying.
3 hours, three hours north.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one pertaining to searches. Was TBI on the previous searches? News said 35 TBI agents on search today. I'm going to just answer that quickly. It's not just TBI, because if they're in the jurisdiction of Hawkins County, which they were, the local does have to be there. So Hawkins County Sheriff, probably a few members of the department there. I would imagine Tony was probably there, and maybe there's several others. So, yeah, Dave, do you want to expand on that? Was TBI previously on searches? Question mark. News said 35 TBI agents today. Did you see TBI when you were there?
When we first arrived, we had not only Hawkins County, we had other municipalities also in the surrounding area, but Hawkins County was the lead. Then assisting them was TBI and also the FBI.
Okay.
The only when we did the drones, we did have Detective Pruitt with us from Hawkins County the whole day.
John, right?
But Twila was in contact with TBI, their special agent that was assigned to this case. So everybody was on board with every time that we walked into that state.
Excellent. Was there any special technology, Lisa Irwin says, used in the search? If you're asking about the search today, we don't have any extra knowledge than the public has, because Dave and I and Twila, we didn't call or try to bog down Hawkins County or the TBI and say, hey, what did you use today? First of all, they probably wouldn't answer us. And second of all, it wouldn't be professional to ask that. So I saw dogs. They definitely had dogs. We saw it in the footage. They could have used drones, but we don't know. But those would be things that I would think, and Twila, I'm sure that you could stop me if I'm wrong, or Dave, I would think with the foliage all still down, throwing up a drone wouldn't be a bad idea to search from the top. They had the dogs and searchers. We don't know. So we don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, as far as the drone is concerned at this point in time, unless there is something specific, again, I don't want to get graphic or anything, but I mean, we can all assume that at this point in juncture, you're not going to have the same little girl that you did almost a year ago. So unless that they would asked us to use the locate system for a piece of clothing or a color, and even at that, at best, through the process of the winter, the hot summer, things are going to change tremendously as far as clothing.
Right.
So they could have just been mapping out the area with the drones. Right. So they had a better bird's eye view, and maybe they were even using the drones to keep track of the searchers on the ground and also the dogs.
Yeah. So here's a good question I just saw, and there's two of them back to back. JD with a animated picture from some movie or something says, would dogs pick up on her scent after all this time and the weather and stuff? We should have gotten Brian from Oklahoma Search and Rescue. I'm not a professional in the dog searches and what they can and can't do, so I personally wouldn't answer that question. And
I can definitely answer that.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
So as far as a trailing dog, at this juncture, absolutely not. I think that you, at best, maybe 7 to 10 days when it comes to a trailing dog. They'll go to the last scent.
Right.
But as far as a cadaver dog, absolutely, cadaver dog would be useful in this scenario for sure.
Right. So Rosemary and Thyme says that having cadaver dogs searching today, and we don't have any confirmation that those dogs were cadaver dogs or not. At least I don't. So if somebody has law enforcement cooperation or law enforcement confirmation that cadaver dogs were used, we don't know. It could have just, we don't know. But if they were there, Dave says yes, 100%, they would come into play, and that's important for us to know, because Dave, you're around people who are working these dogs, so
Yeah.
Here's Little Greenie. I know that she was sending in questions and I might have missed it. At DutyRon, please, can you answer this? Were cadaver dogs ever used at the Wells house? Does it take a formal search warrant to deploy them? We talked about this in previous videos. And Twila, you were involved in the conversation. It wasn't divulged to EquuSearch what type of dogs they were used. They were there searching on the ground. They didn't bring in their dogs because the state and volunteers had their dogs there Twila, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going off of old man memory. I remember you saying nobody told us exactly what kind of dogs were used because you
Right.
didn't ask.
There was canines there while we were there. There was most definitely canines. They had everything that they could possibly think of while we were there. And I know of some people that was there, but I'm not going to put that information out there because it's not mine to put out there. But there was canines that was there. But let me tell you, we were all so busy. There was no way we had time to even think about asking questions about what kind of dog this is and that, because we were out there handling business.
It's all business. Yes, yes. And you know what? Listen, when a body decomps, we had Dr. Murray Marks and Barbara Butcher from the medical examiner's office. They talked about the sludge and the oil. They called it something else when the body decomps and it goes into the ground and it kind of settles, and that smell can be detected years and years later. It won't be. We won't be able to detect it, but the dogs can detect it, especially the cadaver dogs. So when a body is laid to in an area, I'm holding up one of the EquuSearch because I'm about to talk about this. When a body is laid in an area and it decomps slowly and it degrades into the ground, even with rain and wash and snow and everything, still years and years later, if it's not dug up and moved or bulldozed, they can hit on it. So yes, that they come into play here big time. I want to just bring up something else to support EquuSearch. I'm selling these on DutyRon.com. I'm going to go full screen if you guys don't mind. So let me put myself solo and then we're going to get out of here. These are the EquuSearch Midwest bracelets. You can buy one of these. Email me or message me on DutyRon.com. Lost is not alone. I'm wearing one from Gabby Petito and one from EquuSearch. I wear these every day. So these are available on DutyRon.com. Every cent of the $10 goes straight to Dave Rader and the wonderful work that EquuSearch Midwest does. So please go over there and purchase 5 of these, 10 of these. One of these, Jennifer Nobles bought 10 twice. She bought $200 worth of these. That's for the boys in California City, Bakersfield, Orrin, and Orson West. I hope to get out there. If Bakersfield police calls us, I'm on a plane with Dave, and him and I are flying in the lowest level of economy class. We're heading out there so we can make the budget work and head out to California and do what we got to do. I'm going to close it up by saying this. Get around people who are doing positive things for the victims and their families. Please do not engage. If you can't, stay away from the people who are participating in toxic behavior that is not helping finding the missing or helping to help people find the missing. Stay away from it because it just leads to nothing good. You're hurting not only the law enforcement that are trying to help, you're hurting the families. Think about behind every one of these victims, there are a full, complete set of family members who are grieving, who are going to be grieving. Don't leave a footprint on the internet of you being nasty and toxic and saying bad things about these people. Again, we all have our opinions, and opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. At the end of the day, you really have to take responsibility for what you do. And that's why here on Crime Time with DutyRon, I know what it takes. I know what it is when you knock on someone's door and say, excuse me, Mrs. and Mr. So-and-so, your loved one has just either taken their lives or was killed. It's not a fun thing, and it's not pleasant. And there's real people behind all of these stories. So keep that in mind. Dave, final words?
The only thing I can say and think of is I'd like to thank you, Ron, for everything that you have ever done for this organization or ever will. You're an intricate part of this family now. To Twila, thank you so much for being a part of this organization. You're a tremendous asset to this. And to any of the teammates that happen to watch this also. Without you, I am nothing. This organization is nothing. You guys, and again, especially the people that support us through the donations, your family, Ron, is just incredible. So, I can't thank everybody enough. It's to make all of this happen is you have no idea what it takes to make this go on, and without everybody participating and being on the same page, I don't know what the hell I would do. So I appreciate everybody, and much love to everybody. Big hugs.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Hey, before you talk, Twila, I'd like to see this comment. Melissa McCarthy says, "Do you guys ever cry if you found a body or bones?" Twila?
It just happened to me a few weeks ago. Absolutely, we cry. We're humans just like everybody else, and those tears they're there. And let me tell you, you just don't cry right then and there when you do recover somebody. Those tears continue to last, because I know firsthand. So does Dave. There's been cases that Dave's done years ago that still bothers him. I done one a few weeks ago, and it's been so very hard, but with the right people in my corner, it's gotten easy. But yes, we cry. Absolutely, we cry. After our searches, we cry. Sometime before our searches, when Dave's briefing us, we cry. We cry. We cry rivers. So yes, we do cry.
We're human. We are absolutely human.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People have to understand that there's human beings behind this on all parts, every facet of it. Human on the law enforcement side, human on the recovery side, human on the EMS side, and right straight to the medical examiner's office. So everybody that comes in contact with these deceased human bodies or recovery of remains, they're all human beings, and we all have feelings and a heart. I want to just say, please, if you guys are not yet subscribed to this community, please consider subscribing to Crime Time with DutyRon. Consider becoming a channel member and a Patreon supporter. The Patreon and channel memberships go to supporting great groups like this. I take the money and I don't put it all in my pocket. I have to pay taxes, so I put some money aside because I get a 1099 at the end of the year. So I have to save money to pay the government. So I do put that aside, and I do use some of the money to upgrade equipment like this, sending out microphones to Ed Wallace and a couple of the people who are involved. And Dave, I've sent mics to you, and Twila just doesn't, no matter what we send her, it just doesn't work. I'm going to send her a camera tomorrow, a webcam, so we could see her in real time instead of it looking like something from Afghanistan. So we're going to try to help and improve Twila's visual. Everybody wants to see her in living color, so we could see that she got a small little thing through her cheek there, through her lip. I told her she had some food on her lip, and she started laughing. She's like, "Oh no, I got a piercing." I was like, "I know what you got. I'm making fun of it. I love it though. It looks great. It looks great."
Thank you.
I want to just say this as I always end. Please be kind to one another. God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat, but especially all victims of crime and their family across the globe, not just here in New York and the United States, across the globe. Everybody has moments of suffering and pain, and we need to be there for them. So I want to say thank you on behalf of Crime Time with DutyRon to EquuSearch Midwest, Dave Rader, Twila Cisco. Thank you for taking an hour and a half of your time on a Monday night. You guys are awesome. I love you. I respect you. And we will see you soon. We'll keep in contact. Guys, good night from New York, Ohio, and I don't know, Alabama, Afghanistan. I don't know where she is. Good night, everybody. Peace.
Bye.